How's it going, guys? Cameron here with Canadian Gamer, and today we're talking about something that I've been meaning to talk about actually for a couple of weeks now. Just haven't really had the time to really get around to it. And today we're going to talk about a polarizing subject, I guess. We're going to talk about thumbnails. I'm going to show some examples of my personal opinion of, I guess, the wrong way to go about a thumbnail and the right way. Or maybe not so much wrong and right, but just artistically speaking, what appeals to me, which, again, it's just my opinion here. We're just talking about thumbnails, and if you disagree with my opinion, that's quite all right. Now, I don't pretend that I have the greatest thumbnails in the world. Obviously, it's probably the exact opposite, excuse me. But we'll get into that in just a minute. So the first thing is you're seeing this image here that I culled from Google, and I thought it was pretty tongue-in-cheek because this is exactly the problem with thumbnails right now. Everybody's adopted this formulaic way of creating a thumbnail. What's the best way to lure in a potential viewer, a prospect viewer, if you will, and you see it time and time again. These content creators have these, I don't know what it is. It's like a caption device where they can take their image and superimpose it onto a background, and usually they have their mouth just wide agape, like this girl here. And so maybe I'm missing something. Maybe this is the way to create a thumbnail, if you will, but I don't know. To me, it seems pretty disingenuous. It's not the real article. Again, it's very cookie cutter and formulaic. It's just like music as an example. Are you going to go ahead and listen to Britney Spears, or are you going to go ahead and listen to the Rolling Stones? I'm pretty sure we can all agree the Rolling Stones are much more authentic than a cookie cutter pop artist like Britney Spears. So on with the show. We'll start off. I'll show a few examples of what I think would be the wrong way to create a thumbnail, and what better way to start this off with our good old friend Overthink Gaming. Yes, Overweight Gaming. So this guy claims that he's keeping it real. And I have to argue, I'd have to say this guy is fake as can be. Doesn't get any more fake than this guy. Just take a look at these thumbnails here. Yes, this is actually one of his thumbnails. No originality. Very cookie cutter. Here today, gone tomorrow. Very clickbait eccentric. It's just absolutely cringy as all hell. Just thinking about it, maybe he doesn't care, but think of your channel as a timestamp or a time capsule of what you've created, and just imagine what these thumbnails will look like. They're already horrible looking as it is, but imagine what they're going to look like 6 months from now, or 8 months from now, or 2 years from now. Extremely dated. And we're going to get to that in a minute, because I think there is a way. If you're smart about it, I think there is a way that you can create a thumbnail that just might have a little bit more longevity, so to speak. So you can see this guy. He's not keeping it real at all. This guy is a fake. He's a fraud. He's phony. His whole channel surrounds itself with drama, clickbait content. You can see his thumbnails here. And it's funny, too, because if you take a look at this guy here, wow, do you ever see the similarities? Oh, my God. Oh, shit. And then you see this guy here. Another prime example. This is basically what Overthink Gaming aspires to be. Keemster. He's like a Keemster light, or he's a Keemster wannabe. So, so you can see the similarities. Absolutely fake as fuck. And so, you see a lot of these channels. Obviously, we have MJR here. Now, MJR, it's big business for him. This is a full-time job. or at least it was. I don't know about recently. He sort of cut back on his content, but again, MJR is creating these very much these clickbait thumbnails, if you will. Oh my god. And we're going to get into it in a minute, but well, I guess we could get into it right now, but there seems to be this, I guess, this unwritten rule that you have to have oversized fonts within your thumbnail. It's part of the whole package, I guess. So you could see here with MJR, he's got it down to a T. And again, I'm not innocent. I've posted thumbnails with the oversized fonts as well. We're going to get into that closer to the end of the video. You can see another one here from MJR, just clickbait city. You know, you've got the superimposed images, the background, you know, the green screen, if you will. And here's another one, Dreamcast guy. Again, the superimposed images of his face, very much like Overthink Gaming. The obnoxious font, the yellow font, you know, basically creating a thumbnail that's going to cause his videos to go viral, if you will. So very much like a record company trying to promote a cookie cutter pop band like New Kids on the Block. And then you've got this guy here. Again, just absolutely a tryhard. Just clickbait city. You've got the superimposed image. You've got the cringy font on an angle. You know, no originality at all. Just, you know, again, using a very formulaic cookie cutter approach that all the YouTubers are using, doing whatever it takes to get maybe 600 views on a video instead of 400. Oh my god. And then we have this guy here. Okay. And again, I'm not attacking Ken's content here. I'm not talking about his content. I'm not talking about his character, although sometimes we can question that as well. But we're just talking about his thumbnails. So again, extremely busy. There's a lot going on in the background here. It's almost an eyesore. I'm not crazy on it. I'm not crazy on the character that he has on his thumbnail. I'm not crazy on the font. I think there's just way too much going on in these thumbnails. Now, I want to talk about a few channels. Again, I don't have a lot on my list here. I just picked out a few that I'm subscribed to that I think do a pretty good job, and for different reasons as well. So the first one we'll start off with is Dads and Lads Gaming. Now, the reason why I chose this is because, look, he's not doing anything particularly special with his thumbnails. He's not trying to reinvent the wheel. He's just taken an image that he probably shot with his smartphone, and he's putting in a basic font on it. So it's very, sometimes less is more, and we're going to get into that more in a minute. But he's just taking an image, putting a font on it, and that's it. And he's putting his stamp on it of his channel, his logo. So sometimes adopting the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid, is more effective than trying to spend 20 hours on a thumbnail. So that's why I chose this as an example. You know, he's spending a lot of time, and I can tell on his actual video, and he's not wasting a lot of time on the thumbnail. He gets his point across. Very simple and to the point with his thumbnail. Oh yeah, and I forgot about this guy. Smash JT, the poster child for cringeworthy thumbnails. So you can see here, again, very much like Overthink Gaming. This guy is a tryhard, is what you call a tryhard. He's trying too hard to be something he's not. He's trying to become the next RGT85. Now here's another guy here, the Geek Getaway, and he's adopted kind of like a template. So he's got his logo. Again, he's got the font on there and the image. He's keeping it simple, nothing too crazy. His thumbnails kind of remind me of, I guess, how Radical Rick used to do his thumbnails back in the day. So, again, he's adopted a template. So as soon as you see his thumbnail, you know right away it's the Geek Getaway. And this is one of his newer thumbnails as well. Sometimes content creators, and I've been guilty of it, they change up the style of their thumbnails every other day, and when it comes up on your feed, you're having a hard time distinguishing if it's their video or not. So I think the Geek Getaway, I think he's doing a pretty good job creating a formula. So that's just one example of a way you can approach a thumbnail. Now, the last thumbnail I wanted to talk about, it's a channel actually. It's not video game related. It's called Harry's Garage. This guy is a professional journalist, and he's got a YouTube channel. He's got, gosh, I don't know, maybe 500,000 subscribers by now. And you can see here, the reason why I bring him up is because he doesn't actually incorporate any large fonts into his thumbnail. He just simply, well, he's probably got a professional photographer, so let's get that out of the way. But he just simply puts the car out there on a nice backdrop, whether it be on a nice road or in front of a nice scenic backdrop, takes the picture, uploads the picture as his thumbnail, and that's it. He doesn't put any font on it to ruin the look of the thumbnail, and it's extremely clean and aesthetically pleasing. And I especially liked his new thumbnail for a vehicle that I actually talked about last night as well, the 2021 BMW M3. So as you can see here, you got the car in a nice road, kind of parked on an angle, and it's very simple. And it's very, like I said, very aesthetically pleasing. And if you were to put a font overlay over top of this image, it would ruin the thumbnail. So I think Harry's Garage, I think he's got the right idea. And I think going forward, I might start creating thumbnails that don't have the fonts on the thumbnail. It's just my opinion. I think it looks worse. Again, I don't care about how many views I get on my videos, but I've had a couple of thumbnails that I've created, and I've ruined the look of it because of the font that I've put on the thumbnail. And you can see right here, Harry's Garage. He took a picture of a Rolls-Royce Phantom. He drove it to the Arctic Circle, and he took a picture of the vehicle. Now, obviously, you can't get that creative with video games, but I wanted to show one thumbnail that I was proud of that I did. And this was recently. I drove out of the city, and obviously I don't recommend you do this, but I got out on an open road, and I propped these 2 copies of Outrun on the road, and I snapped the picture so you can see the road. It ties into the theme of the game. Nice backdrop. I was really proud of this thumbnail, and I actually got quite a few compliments as well. Unfortunately, I probably should have just left the thumbnail as this image, but I put an overlay on it with a font, and it kind of ruined the look of the image. I'm kind of glad I kept an original of the image without the font. And last but not least, I wanted to show AlphaNerd Entertainment, even though we don't see eye to eye always with regards to our personal opinions per se. I have, before I've even told him, you can ask him yourself, I've complimented him on some of his thumbnails. Now, are all of his thumbnails aesthetically pleasing? Absolutely not. Are mine? Absolutely not. But once in a while, AlphaNerd, again, I'm not talking about him personally, I'm just talking about his thumbnails. Once in a while, he makes do with the resources that he has available to him. He doesn't have, the highest of Sony Vegas software on his computer or on his phone. But as you can see here on, I think, today's thumbnail, he simply took an image of Street Fighter 2 and Donkey Kong Country, mashed them together, and he put a font on the thumbnail that's not overly offensive. It just says Double Retro Challenge. He's got the font kind of at the bottom of the thumbnail, so it's not right over the nice images of the game art. So I think he did a good job with this thumbnail. So there you go. I'm giving AlphaNerd Entertainment a compliment. So So yeah, so like I said, with thumbnails, there's good and bad. And again, these are just my personal opinions. I'm not innocent at all. I think I have the ability to create exceptional thumbnails. I find personally, if you go outside, you've got the ability to create. You've got more to work with. You've got outside resources. Whereas if you're just in your games room, or if you're just trying to superimpose images, you kind of come across just like every other Tom, Dick, and Harry out there. So it's all about being original, thinking outside the box, and don't create thumbnails just to try to cater to somebody else. Don't try to chase the clicks, okay? Most of us are probably never going to have 1 million subscribers. So why don't you just go ahead and create a thumbnail that's pleasing for you to look at, that you're happy with, and not be so concerned about trying to impress other people. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great Easter weekend. Take care.